Hi guys, so I'm finally back with another cooking video for you guys. I know it's been forever. I am so sorry. I apologize, and I know I've promised that I'll make more of these, but today I'm doing this very affordable dinner for you guys. To me, it's very healthy and very affordable to make. So to start, you're going to need red potatoes. The potatoes were $2.99 for a 5-pound bag, and what I'm going to do is just take them out of the bag, check them out, see if any of them have like rot on them or anything gross, clean them off, and then take out all the eyes. If you like the eyes, keep the eyes. I don't like the eyes. I just have this thing about eyes on potatoes that bothers me. um, so I'm gonna take them all off. Any parts that I do not like, I'll take off as much as I can. So I'm just using a knife to do this. You can use a little paring knife or whatever it is that you have available. But I'm doing this video based off of the fact that you already have certain spices. So this may be a little bit over $20 for some people, but if you buy the spices that are smaller, it could still be affordable if you buy the small ones, okay? So I'm cutting up the potatoes in 1-inch cubes. And basically what I'm going to make is my version of home fries, okay? So once they're all cut up and cleaned and everything, I'm going to salt my water, put it on. My stove doesn't really make water boil, and I haven't switched out my stove for my new one yet. So it heats up really, really hot until you put something in it and then it starts to boil. It's the weirdest thing. But salt your water and put your potatoes in it, and I did the entire bag, by the way. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my red bell peppers, and I'm just going to take out the seeds and the veins on the inside of them. All right, you guys, so I'm using 2 red bell peppers and 2 green bell peppers, okay? So I'm doing pretty much the same thing for both, taking out the seeds and then just kind of dicing them up a bit. They're kind of like 1 inch, not 1 inch, half-inch size chunks. You don't want it too small, but if you like it small, you could do it small. Remember, you can always change the recipe to your liking. You do not have to do every single thing the way I do it. Do whatever you like as far as your, flavors that you like and sizes of things and, vegetables that you like to have in your food, okay? So I do wash all my bell peppers before I cut them up, because have you ever been to the produce aisle? Okay, people touch everything and it's like it gives me severe anxiety watching people rub their noses and then touch vegetables and sniff them and poke them, and yeah, so that's why I wash my vegetables. You can use vinegar if you like. It's totally up to you what you use. They even sell products to wash your vegetables. But yeah, I cleaned them before, and pretty much doing the same thing that I did to the red one, to the green ones, taking out the seeds, which I actually kept for my spring garden whenever spring decides to show its face. I'll also have videos on that on my new channel, by the way. It's called Life with Queenie. So for those of you who do not know that I have a new channel with DIY, house-related stuff, I'll put the link down below. All right, so cutting up this green bell pepper just like the red one in almost half-inch size chunks. I like chunky bits. Like I like texture and color and stuff like that. So that's how it's going to look. Then I'm going to go in with 2 small onions. And I'm going to leave these in about 1-inch to half-inch sizes too, because I want them nice and chunky. But you can cut them up really small if you like. Onions are usually pretty affordable. I believe it's $1.99 for a 2-pound bag or a 3-pound bag, something like that. So it's pretty cheap to get an onion. Even if you just need 2, you can get the loose onions, so you don't have to pay for the entire bag, and it would just be like a few cents per onion, So if you don't need the whole bag, don't get the whole bag, but I usually buy the whole bag because I cook pretty much every day. If you don't like cutting up garlic, you can get the minced garlic or the chopped garlic that's in a jar, and I put about a tablespoon's worth of garlic in there. Okay, I like my garlic, and it's really good for you. So you could put less or more if you want to. And I'm also adding in 2 celery sticks. I think they call them stalks. Stock. I'm sorry, guys. Stalks. 2 of them, washed and cut up, added to my mixture as well. This is going to go into our home fries. So just set that aside. Now we're going to go in with the Brussels sprouts. I did not get a lot of them. I believe my total for my Brussels sprouts was $1.29. I only picked up a handful because I don't make these often, and I wasn't sure if my family would like them, which they usually eat all the vegetables I make, but still, you know, Brussels sprouts are kind of iffy sometimes. But I'm taking off the tops and some of the outside leaves that are damaged or dirty, washing them and cutting them in half. And I'll be seasoning those with a bit of salt and pepper and grapeseed oil, and I'll be roasting them. So you'll see that right now. Well, not the roasting part. You'll see the oil. So I'm using grapeseed oil, which I actually bought from TJ Maxx. They have a food section, which is really cool. So I added some black pepper and some salt, and that's pretty much it, okay? Mix them around and then just put them on one side of the pan. It's going to take about 30 or 40 minutes for your potatoes to boil, depending on how, you know, powerful your stove is. This stove came with the house that I bought, and it's really crappy, so it takes forever. But boil your potatoes until fully cooked. You can use a fork to check them, okay? So I'm using bagged salmon instead of fresh salmon, which is usually actually frozen. They thaw it out and then just put it in a display and call it fresh. But I'm using bagged salmon, which was $4.99 for the entire bag. It's already portioned and everything, and I'm making the entire bag for my family. I know there's some issues with people who do not like bagged fish or anything like that, but at the end of the day, you have to feed your family. You can't focus on other people. So that's why I included this here, because I noticed there's some food shaming going around when people buy food, and there's so many people giving their opinions about what you should and should not eat and what you should buy as far as healthy food goes. This is an affordable video, and hopefully you can afford this type of salmon, okay? So I put it in water to thaw out, cut it open, got them out, and just let them sit in water so they could thaw out by themselves. Don't force the fish to thaw out, you guys. It will break. Then, as you can see, I cut the bottom part of the asparagus off. I washed them. I'm going to add some grapeseed oil to them, some salt, pepper, garlic powder. I'm also adding it into the same pan with the Brussels sprouts, because I will be roasting the asparagus with the Brussels sprouts, okay? So salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some garlic, like fresh garlic. Well, not fresh garlic, the minced garlic from the jar. Still pretty close to fresh. You're just going to mix that up a bit and put that on the side. Once you're done with your fish, that's when you're going to put this in the oven, okay? So now that you let your fish thaw out, it's going to open up, because sometimes they fold the fish in half or they're folded over, and you don't want to force it to thaw out or else it will break. I'm going to use some extra virgin olive oil on a cookie sheet, actually, that I covered in foil. Add olive oil to each piece of fish or salmon. And then I'm going to start my seasoning. The oil helps the seasoning stick to the fish, and it also gives it a really nice taste and moisture. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to start off by seasoning the salmon with black pepper, salt and pepper. You know, you can just do that if you want to, but I like more than just salt and pepper on my food. Okay, so I'm going in with black peppers, salt. I'm using kosher salt, or you can use pink Himalayan salt, whichever you like. Some garlic powder, some onion powder, and paprika powder. And a bit of the minced garlic as well. I'm actually going to put on gloves to rub this in, because I don't want any of the seasonings to rub off on my hands. So I'm kind of like pushing the seasoning into the salmon and just, you know, rubbing it into the salmon. And what you can do to season the opposite side or the other side of the salmon, you could stack them, basically putting one on top of the other, so the seasoning from the top goes on the bottom, you know what I mean? So you could do it like that, so it's seasoned properly, so you don't over season, because you don't want to do what I just did to the top to the bottom. Then it's just going to be very, very salty. Now take an onion. You can use any size onion you like. This is like a medium size onion, and I'm just gonna cut it in rings and just kind of put it all over the fish. These onions are going to roast as well. And it looks really pretty once it's roasted. It looks like a really pretty garnish on there. It looks like you put some effort into this, you know what I mean? Okay, so this is how it should look. Now your potatoes are done. We're going to drain those, put it on the side so that the water can get out. Get yourself a nice big deep pan. Put enough oil in it, you guys, not a tiny bit. This is about 2 or 3 tablespoons worth of extra virgin olive oil. And test it, make sure it's hot. I threw in a piece of celery in there to make sure it was hot. Then put in all of the bell peppers, the onion, the garlic, the celery, everything that we cut up. Season with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, okay? Basic things is gonna make this taste amazing. I'm just saying. All right, once you season it up, start stirring. You want to saute these vegetables, and then you can add in your potatoes. I'm so sorry, you guys. That clip of me adding the potatoes into the pot is, for some reason, interrupted, or it has like an error. But this is what it looks like once you put the potatoes in and you mix it around. Make sure you taste the potato to make sure it has enough salt. But because we already salted the water that the potatoes boiled in and we added a bit more salt, it has enough seasoning. As far as the asparagus and the salmon, you want to broil them on high for about 8 minutes. Okay, broil them on high for 8 minutes, but make sure you check because they can burn, so you get that nice char on the top. And then let it cook for 350 on an additional 8 minutes, so everything is nice and fully cooked. You will want to take out the asparagus and not leave it in there, or it's just going to become too soft and too mushy. So just asparagus, all it needs is 8 minutes. That's it. It doesn't need anything else. So once that's done broiling for 8 minutes, take it out, and then you can leave the salmon in there for an extra 8 minutes. Here I'm just adding some sliced real butter on top of each piece of salmon, and I'm also going to add some lemon juice on top of the butter. I'm going to take a piece of foil and cover it. Once I add the lemon juice on each piece of fish, I'm just going to cover it with a piece of foil. You can stick it back in the oven for maybe a minute or two until the butter and the lemon juice melt together. But I just covered it because it was hot enough and it melted, and it creates kind of like a lemon buttery sauce on top of the fish. Alright, you guys, so I did not put mine back in the oven, but this is how it looks after keeping it covered for maybe about 5 minutes. You see it's almost fully melted, but it looks so good, you guys. It really looks like you put a lot of effort into this dinner. It only took about an hour, if you think about it, to make this dinner. Okay, so now we're gonna put our food on the plate, which is my favorite part of the video. And by the way, excuse my nails, I do have a beauty channel, which is my main channel, and I had to do my own nails for my channel because nails just look prettier with makeup on, or makeup looks prettier with nails. You know what I mean. All right, but we're setting the plate. I absolutely love the colors and I love the roasted vegetables. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment down below, make sure you subscribe to this channel, share this recipe with your friends, and I'll see you guys all very soon in another tutorial. Bye guys!